Hello and welcome to the Radiate Wellness Podcast with your host, metaphysician, Reiki master, and hypnotherapist, Christy Clemens Hoffman. Each week, we will discover teachings, tips, and tools to radiate your best life ever with practitioners, authors, and luminaries to help you on your path. Wellness, joy, peace, abundance. What do you want to radiate?
Hi, and welcome back to the Radiate Wellness Podcast. Today, we radiate abundance with Dame Marie Diamond, who is a global transformation leader, motivational speaker, and international best-selling author, also a world-renowned Feng Shui master, and has been featured in the global phenomena of The Secret as the only European master, as well as the wonderful film, How Thoughts Become Things by Doug Vermeeren. Hello, Marie. It's so good to have you.
Thank you so much, Christy. Lovely to be here. I'm just here from London today.
Oh, that's wonderful, because you live originally in France, right?
I do, but I have a home in London too, so I kind of sometimes go back and forth.
Of course. And we're radiating abundance today. So I have a feeling that the Feng Shui and the energy that you practice has something to do with that.
Yes, but also we are right now recording at the beginning of the Chinese New Year. That is the water tiger year, and it's a very good year for abundance. So I think, and especially the beginning of the year and every day of the year, we need to go into flow, right? And the word abundance comes from the Latin word abundare, means overflowing positive energy. So if it's money, if it's health, if it's well-being, whatever it is overflowing.
Wonderful. And so what to you is this energy that is flowing?
Well, for me, it's the chi, the energy that ultimately has created everything, right? That is in everything, that is between everything. There is a constant a force field. Some people would call it a matrix, other people would call it universal energy, other would call it chi. So, but we are made and we are creating. Everything is that creative force. What even Star Wars, they will say, with the force be with you, right? That's the energy, right? And when we look at energy, some people experience it as stuck. Like when they say, I'm stuck, that means that their inner energy is stuck, or perhaps they feel stuck in their career or in the relationship, or so the energy is not moving, right? And then you can be in flow, and then you feel like, hey, everything going so easy, so wonderful, and all the synchronicities are happening, and I'm meeting the right person at the right time, and it's like you feel in that flow, and then you can go into overflow, the superflow, I call it, where then you feel like it's not just once in a while, you're constantly in that flowing vibration. And you're not just flowing for yourself, but you're also able to help others with creating flow. And I'm sure that is what you're doing, Christy, with your podcast, is that you're not just creating flow for yourself, but you're creating flow for others by creating positive energy and experiences for them. And people that are into that, they already are in superflow.
Wonderful. So the superflow is not just for the person. It sounds like it's for everything around us.
Around us, to people, to the world. It is actually, I would call it the positive impact. Your energy is already so fulfilled with your own flow that there's overflow already, and that you want to share that overflow, right? With your wisdom, with your knowledge, with your skill set, with your experiences, with your love. And that is when we can start making really positive impact in the world. And that's why, for example, movies like The Secret or How Thoughts Become Things or podcasts, people that are already doing this, they already have reached a certain level of flow in themselves, right? But there's so much that they cannot hold it for themselves. They have to go in superflow. They have to give to others.
Right. Now, I remember watching The Secret when it first came out so long ago, and it changed my life. Yeah. Do you hear that type of thing often, that learning about these things changes?
Yeah, it's something that it came out in 2006, and so we are a little bit. It's already a next generation, right? Because now The Secret is on Netflix. So now people come up to me and say, "I saw you on Netflix," right? At that time, it was a book or a DVD, right? We sold first it in a DVD form.
Mm-hmm.
Still everywhere I go. People are open to it, or they have seen it, or they have seen that it changed their life, or perhaps it was a positive reminder of something they already knew, right? And that they're like, okay, oh yeah, that's true. I can be like this. I can change my life this way. And now it's very interesting. I feel there is this new generation, is the young people that are so open to it, and also the corporate world. I have many leaders that I'm supporting and helping and mentoring, and now they're coming in like, oh, I just shared The Secret or other positive movies like How to Become Things with my team. Right, so it's not so much individual anymore. It's going to a whole new level of experience. So yeah, it's when great things happen, they keep happening, right?
Right. It's like a big snowball rolling down the mountain. It just keeps gathering and gathering and gathering momentum. Yes, until can't help but create this superflow that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the film How Thoughts Become Things. Yeah. This is also a wonderful film. How do you feel like it differs from The Secret?
Well, in The Secret, it was like a basic sharing of the law of attraction, right? And so every teacher was telling kind of their aspect or their approach to the law of attraction. What was an amazing movie. But, as the years go by, there are certain aspects that, people want to go deeper into that. And so Douglas Vermeer did an amazing movie called How Thought Become Things to really focus on the mindset, but in such a wonderful way. It's actually, after The Secret, I think one of the best movies that came out on that level, because the way he expressed it, the way he shared it with beautiful illustration, what the teachers were saying. I think it's definitely one of my favorite movies. As I have been in more than 15 other documentaries, so it's like I have a lot of experience. But this one is something I think when people looked at it, watched it, said, oh, now I know the next level. Yeah, like they know like The Secret, the basic, but really understanding in a very down-to-earth way and simple way how my thoughts really make things. How did my thoughts really create something? Because that was not really super explained in The Secret, because that was not the purpose of it also. It was just the beginning. And so I think a lot of people, after seeing, they're like, oh, finally we understand it. And I think that's what is the great benefit to watch that movie.
Yes, absolutely. It was also an eye-opener, just how we take our thoughts and add energy and inspired action and then create results. Right. And so this energy, the energy flow, you encompass that with Feng Shui. Mm-hmm. How did you find your way to Feng Shui?
Well, it's an interesting story, but so I was 15 and I had a near-death experience. And when I came after an almost deadly accident, and so when I came back, I actually asked my spiritual mentor that I already had at that time. I was already meditating since I was 7. I was already aware of a lot of information. But my teacher, when I asked him, like, why did I have this accident? I mean, I was already so positive. I did affirmations, I did meditation. And he just said, well, you know what? You had bad feng shui. So that were his words. And I was like, what's that? Right? I have to know I'm a Catholic girl from Belgium, right? So I had no idea about, Chinese knowledge, Chinese wisdom, because it's a Chinese energy system, right? And so there were no books about it whatsoever. The first book in my language that came out on Feng Shui, I was 31. So you have to imagine it was like a lot of years later. And so he shared with me that the environment where you are living, where you're sleeping, where you are working is really affecting you subconsciously nonstop. And so, as for example, in The Secret, we talk about the vision board. I always say your home is like a 3-dimensional vision board. Yeah. So when we are there, we are actually all the time influenced by, for example, order or declutter, by the colors, by the imagery that is around us, the way we position ourselves. So Feng Shui has been around for about 4,000 years. And I would say the top people in China and in Asia, they would start using it thousands of years ago to make sure that the qi, the energy around them, was actually there to support their inner qi. Yeah. And so when I started learning this, I started understanding that the law of attraction has, of course, we can affect the law of attraction with prayer, with meditation, with, connecting with our soul and a higher vibration. But we also can affect it with our mindset, with being taking inspired action, with having the right feelings of gratitude. But there is a last part, and that part is called your earth luck, your environment. It is the law of attraction of the home around you that is constantly supporting you. And I think everybody had that experience that you're in certain places and you can be a home, can be a nature that you feel so inspired and you feel so good. And then you go to other places and you feel stagnant, like there's no chi, you don't like it, you have nightmares, you fight all the time, you feel really stuck in yourself. And so, but what if you can create an environment around you that you feel constantly in that flow, that constantly you feel inspired and you feel good? And that is actually what Feng Shui does with very simple changes. It's almost like energy acupuncture of your home by changing small things around you. It could be color, it could be a position, could be a different image. Suddenly something in you start changing because you live there constantly. So you sleep 8 hours, you are perhaps 8 hours socially in your home, and you work at least 8 hours in your workspace. So 24 hours a day, we are somewhere in a space. And that space is, without us being aware of it sometimes, is affecting us. And I always say to people, okay, tell me where in your home you feel the best, or tell me in your home where you don't feel the best. And most of them, they will say, I feel the best in my kitchen. And I'm saying, well, you should be feeling the best in your living room, right? Where you're hanging out with your family, or in your workspace, or in your bedroom, right? So, I go to my bed, I close my eyes, and I don't see it. I'm fine. Yeah, but you wake up there. Well, that's the first thing you see, right? If that is not inspiring you, or it's cluttered because all stuff on the ground, how do you think the rest of your day will feel like, right? When you have all that around you and you just think it's not affecting me. It is affecting you, but you just choose to ignore it consciously, but subconsciously you can never ignore it. It's always working for you, or positive or negative.
Hey, yes. Now, this is something you said I thought was interesting, and I wanted to circle back to this, is that you said you were 7 years old and meditating and saying affirmations. How did a Catholic girl in Belgium come across this?
Well, my family was very much connected in with America and Canada, as my father had lived there. So there were a lot of Americans and a lot of Canadians that came every summer to the house. And so I was not just like a little girl in Belgium that was not in touch with the world. Yeah. I already spoke 3 languages at that time. I was fluently English already. And so it was just like my family was very international. So I was very open to listen to things. And, I had some spiritual experiences very early on. And one of the spiritual experiences was connecting with my spiritual teacher. But at that moment, we don't think as a spiritual teacher, because for me, it was just somebody that, came in my life and just guided me and taught me, exercises and how to think differently and through conversations. So for me at 7 years old, I didn't see it as a spiritual teacher. I saw it as somebody that just gave me amazing information, but later on I understood that this was my spiritual teacher.
Wonderful. Now, just to clarify from my mind, this is a physical person spiritual teacher, or was this an etheric spiritual teacher?
It was an etheric teacher for me that really, showed up in my life. Yeah. But so for me, it was like, at 7 years old, I didn't see the difference between the etheric fields and the physical fields. Yeah. So, I heard conversations about my family was Catholic, but they were very much into the miracles of life. So when I shared these things, my family was not like, oh yeah, angels. Yeah. For them, it was like an angel appearing. So they were very open. They were not very strict Catholic in that sense. Yeah. So when I was sharing this, my parents were like, totally fine, that all these things happened to me. And the friends and the family that came over, we had this kind of conversation. So it was not like strange for me. Nobody ever said to me, this is wrong or this is strange or, so, but I could have these conversations with my family and with my parents, especially with my mom, saying like, oh, I learned this today. And like, okay, let's practice. So it was just always like part of our upbringing.
Right. Oh, well, you're very fortunate in that. That's lovely.
I do. I'm very fortunate. So whenever I would say like, oh, I see this being standing here, they would say, oh, tell me how they look. Right. So as early age on, I saw this, I had this clairvoyance, and my, even the priests that were connect with my parents, they were like, yeah, she got a gift from God. And so just take care of her. And there was never like somebody that ever said to me, this is not right.
You are very fortunate with that.
Yeah.
Extremely fortunate. And so you started studying Feng Shui from your spiritual master who told you that you needed to.
Yeah, he gave me my first steps. Right. And then he said, later on you will, there will be books in your language out. And so that happened later on. But he gave me some basic principles that I kept practicing from my 15 years old till I was 31. And then he said, it's time for you to really meet a real master. And so 6 months later, I was by coincidence that happened in my life, I was studying with a grandmaster of Feng Shui from Malaysia. And that's where I really learned not just what I received from my spiritual teacher, but really the real classical Chinese Feng Shui.
Oh my goodness. And this could have gone in so many different ways, Marie, that, there's Feng Shui, of course, the energy of the space around us, et cetera, but it could have gone toward Reiki, the energy of the body. It could have gone in so many different ways, but that's interesting that it went to Feng Shui.
Yeah, and I'm also a Reiki master, so I really explored a lot of things. But, for me, after my accident, it was very clear I was given a message when I was on the other side that I was here to enlighten more than 500 million people. And so that was a message. So I had no idea what that meant, how to do it. But I asked every day to God, to universe, please show me how. Like, is it smiling at somebody? Is it helping somebody in need in my school? I was always from that moment on in service, like in overflow, like, hey, life gave me my life back. So I'm totally grateful. So how can I be of service service too. And so in the beginning, I thought I needed to go into politics. And so or diplomacy, because I thought, I didn't know about self-help, the spiritual world. I had no idea that it existed, literally physically, because I had no physical teacher, right? And so I actually studied being a lawyer, an international lawyer. I did criminology. And so I started working for the governments, both Belgian and European, to give them guidance. And after 5 years, I understood when I was like 31, after 5 years, very intense, good career, actually, I decided that was not a way for me to enlighten people. And so I started consulting as a lawyer and bringing in meditation, because at that time I already was, a long-time meditator. And my first clients were actually the politicians that started coming to me asking, so how do you do this? You're always so optimistic. You're always so clear. You're always manifesting so fast. We give you a project for 3 years, it's done in 6 months. It's like, of course I am good in my intelligence, but everything flowed always so easily for me because I was practicing Feng Shui, I was practicing meditation, I was knowing how to be very clear in my field and in my mind and in my heart. And so they started asking, so they were my first clients, to be honest, that I consulted. And so I started bringing in some of the Feng Shui principles I knew. And then I started really studying that in Asia. And then I really was like, okay, I'm going to let go of that legal part and just sharing that information and start teaching and, giving seminars and consulting and mentoring. And that's how my career on that level started.
Oh, that is just so fascinating. And now you're consulting with organizations around the world as well as just regular people and doing these wonderful films as well.
Yeah.
And I see also on your website that in addition to Feng Shui, you practice Dowsing and teach spirituality. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. So I'm a Feng Shui master and the Dowsing master. For some people that don't know what Dowsing is, it's just like these are dowsing rods, right? Mm-hmm. And so with Dowsing, we're checking in how the magnetic field is of the earth. There can be disturbances from underground water, electricity that make it very difficult for you to sleep and to feel well. So Feng Shui and Dowsing in the originals, Chinese method was actually a combined information. Later on, they kind of split up, but I use both for practicing for individual homes and businesses and wherever I need to work. But I actually started teaching first before I did Feng Shui, because I first had to be trained a couple of years to really teach Feng Shui, right? And I first started teaching my students and my clients meditation. And I started teaching them what I call the inner diamond meditation. And I work specifically with colors and to help them to reach what we call higher levels of awareness, if it's alpha, theta, delta vibration, so that they would actually be more in the light, and we'll be more clear and letting go more and more of the heaviness and the density that consciously or subconsciously they have gathered, even karma that they have gathered from previous lives. So we actually clearing that. That's where I started. Right? That's my, and then we still teach that. In combination also with the outer diamond that we call then diamond Feng Shui, diamond Dowsing, so that there's enlightenment happening, because I'm focusing on creating the inner enlightenment, but also to live in enlightened homes, so that the vibration of your home is as high as possible for your businesses. So there's a well-being, there's abundance, there is great relationships, and you feel there is, all is good, and there's a wonderful life for you. And so that is what I'm teaching for the last 28 years.
Wow. And I saw on your website, you also offer your own divining rods.
Yes. Yes. So we do, we have products. So we have our rods. We also have special acupuncture cures because we're curing the problems with acupuncture sticks for the home. We have everything online. We have, I think, more than 40 online programs. We have certifications for Feng Shui, for Dowsing. So, yeah, we are, out there. We have students in more than 190 countries. So we have, with The Secret and all the movies, I have definitely reached my millions of people and continuing.
Did you know that Radiate Wellness is more than just a podcast? That's right. We're also a comprehensive, holistic wellness practice. Find out about our services, practitioners, and upcoming events at radiatewellnesscommunity.com. While you're there, visit our podcast page to read more about our great guests and even donate to the podcast. If you like our podcast, you can help in other ways as well, like subscribe or follow us wherever you're listening right now. Tell a friend, a family member, or a coworker about the great content you find here. And if you wouldn't mind, please give us a thumbs up, a 5-star rating, or a positive review. Sounds like a small thing, but it really helps. You might like to know about our Facebook communities while we're at it. We have a free community, the Radiate Wellness Community, on Facebook for news and great free content. Our subscribers group is Radiate You, as in the letter U, but also, well, you. There you'll find curated replays of past classes, guest interviews, and more. And now, back to our podcast and back to our guest.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you have. I mean, you've really been spreading the gospel and the word about self-empowerment, clearing our energy, resetting our energy, et cetera, et cetera. One thing I did want to ask you about is karma clearing. So I would imagine that you do this kind of remotely, but it's not, is it you doing it? Is it?
No, karma clearing is always something that you can guide people to help with that, but it's always something you do yourself ultimately, right? Karma clearing you cannot clear somebody else's karma. You can only guide them. And one of the things I kind of mentioned already, I always had the gift of seeing. And so I see the blockages. I see the blockages in the home. I see the blockages in the meditation for people. And so then when I mentor people, I see where their blockages are. And then I ask them and I guide them then to release that. Yeah. But I'm not doing that. It's you have, your own free will to decide if you let go of, whatever bothers you or whatever blocks you or not. As a teacher, I'm first of all a teacher, so I'm teaching people how to do things, right? But I'm guiding them because I can see what is blocking. Like I was today with one of my high-end clients here in London, and he's the CEO of a big company. And so when I was mentoring him, I said, all is good in my life. And I said, yeah, but your relationship with your father is not. He said, oh, no, all is good. He's a nice man. And so I asked him to really start writing about it. And I said, you have a huge karma line with your father. And he was like totally ignoring it. And then today he said, I started writing and I cried and I cried and I cried. And he said, I'm 55. I had no idea I could cry that much, right? Because I just see, and I gave him specific situations that I could see that were still bothering him. And he said, I totally ignored it because we compartmentalizing things. We put things in certain folders in our subconscious mind, right? And we're just, it's like on our computer, right? There are some things we just put in this folder and we don't open it up anymore, but it's still there. It's still present. Yeah. Until you open it up and then you're like, oh my God, what is there? Right. And so, and that's kind of what I do when I work with people. I see situations, I see time moments of them, and then I go into it And then I help them to clear that for themselves, but not me clearing it for them.
Right, right. And then you also have spiritual codes. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, this is the work that has been spread since the 1940s, called the Seven Rays from Alice Bailey. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with that. So that information first was given actually by my spiritual teacher before I knew there was somebody giving that information in books already. So when I was actually 16, I started knowing this information, how that and he called it the spiritual codes. That's why I kept that name. Is that there's a vibration to your ego. It's a vibration, an energy level to your physical, emotional, mental body. There's a vibration to your soul body, and a vibration to what we call the I am, the mastery level in yourself. And there's 7 codes, and they are connected with the colors of the rainbow. And so, for example, we would say this person has an emotional code red, or that other person is a blue code in his soul. And then we see also how they go into crisis sometimes together, right? And then I teach people how to approach people. Like when somebody comes in front of me, I immediately see like, oh, that's this code. But then it's a psychology. It's actually a new way to look at people, but from a very compassionate level, right? It's just like, oh, they are red code. Okay, how can I help them to move forward and to reach more the soul? And then what are the words? How can I bring them some information so that they are letting go of that ego, transform that ego to be more open to their soul, to their heart, to their mastery. So that's what the spiritual codes are about. And this is an online program that we have. And so there's so much information that I shared over the years, and I'm very fortunate that I've been so guided to share this information, and I've been able to do that with so many people.
Yeah, you have. You've really made an impact. Another impact I want to talk about is your humanitarian work.
Yes.
That earned you this knighthood.
Yes, I did. Yes. So I was knighted as a dame for my humanitarian work. And so for me, that's part of being of service, right? And being of service can be in many levels. You can teach. That's one of my service, but that's also my business, right? So there is that part. But there's also the other side that you always want to give back, yeah? So we do a lot of work for the rainforest. I'm working with several organizations to build new forests in the rainforest. I just made sure that I put some people together. Like I have so much connections, so we just planted 500,000 trees in the rainforest in Brazil. So that's like giving back to the earth. That's always part of it. I do a lot of work for the African community. So I work with a lot of African leaders in the health sector for young people in Africa. That's always something where it's very close to my heart. But there are sometimes people come with an idea and I'm thinking, okay, I cannot help myself right away. But I know people and I have a big network, and then I put people together. That's also being of service. Yeah.
Well, it is. We've been absolutely successful in that. So if someone were struggling and they felt blocked,
yeah,
like where would you recommend they begin this journey of discovery, clearing, and service?
Well, I always suggest for people, because sometimes it's hard to change something within yourself first, right? Because it's painful to sometimes look within. So therefore, I always suggest that they would look outside themselves first. And we would bring them first on a journey of the Feng Shui. And so I asked them to go to the website, mariediamond.com. And there they can get a free energy report. There in the free energy report, they will be guided to find their success direction. everybody based on their birthday has a success compass direction. For somebody it's east, for somebody it's southwest or north or southeast. And so then I asked them to check out my free app, my Diamond app. Yeah. And so they can actually go to the app, put in there again their gender, their birthday, and it says, give me your energy number. So it actually gives you your energy number, but you get a compass. And this is very crucial because when you see on the compass, there is something that says success direction. So this case here is southwest, what is mine, right? So then people hold the compass and the report helps you with that, right? And then you hold the compass and you see like where is success. So success for me is kind of in that corner there in this room. So then we always try to place things in that corner related with your success. So for example, I have images there of my most successful clients. I have my programs there. I have books there, right? As I have the world that I, serve, humanity, I have a globe there. So there, you put some symbolic things there. So there are some whole processes that people can do. The second thing I always suggest for people is start decluttering. You're stuck right now. It means inside you're stuck, outside you'll be stuck too. People that are stuck, there's always chaos around them. I've seen this, I would say 99% of the time. Chaos in their bedroom, chaos at the entrance, in their workspace, in their living room. So by clearing, things around you that you feel like, I don't need this anymore. Let me let that go, right? Or I sell it, or I give it to someone, or I throw it in the trash can if it's broken. And you let go of that. As you let go of things outside of you, you create flow, and things in yourself will start automatically going unstuck. Yeah, so that's the first step. And then we also give them the first meditation, and that's called the Tubes of Light meditation. That is actually available on the app. There's a meditation and people click on it. And so 5-minute meditation, it's very easy, but it also, in the meditation, you start clearing karma. So I actually teach them to clear karma right away. And so millions of people actually have done this meditation already over the years, and they feel immediately lighter. Yeah. So it's actually doing inner Feng Shui. So as you're uncluttering outside, you're kind of uncluttering inside of you. And it works with colors. So it's very, whatever religion, whatever background you are, it's just colors that we are connecting with. And so people really feel the difference with this very simple 5-minute meditation that people do every day in the morning. It's like, instead of taking your coffee, you take the coffee and do the Tubes of Light.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. So you're clearing karma every single day and resetting.
Yeah, because, we don't know how much we have, right? So we don't need to know always what we have. Now, karma, what is that? Karma is heaviness, that negative programs, limitations that you have created for yourself. First of all, because we all do that, we have negative thoughts and judgments about ourselves, right? From childhood on. Things that our parents have brought to us, right? That perhaps our culture, the school we went through, our friends, we are a sponge sometimes. We just absorb, judgments and limitations. And this meditation actually releases and protects so that you're not longer a sponge anymore for attracting negative energy. Because a lot of people feeling like people dump things on them, and they're like, because they're such a empathic sponge, right? And so we are releasing and making sure that only positive energy starts coming to us. That's a really important part. And then also can be from past lives, if people believe in that or not, but I do believe in that. So things that from past lives we have brought with us in this lifetime, and could be relationship wise, could be physical, that things we need to release. And we don't need to know always what, but it's like people take every day a shower, and it's great, but why don't you take every day an energetic shower to release any dirt that or density that you have in you? That, if you would do that, and some people even do the meditation while doing the shower, and that's all fine too.
Right. Yes, I do talk to my clients about taking the energy shower and visualizing everything going down the drain and just releasing everything. It's a wonderful practice because we're creating as we go. Every day we're perhaps taking on more blocks and more energies.
Yeah.
So we want to keep it clear as we go. So in decluttering inside and out, what about people who have children? Children are just notorious for creating clutter, children and pets.
Well, what my clients do, and I already have, people that started with me have their second generation, sometimes already third generation, their grandkids. And they are, first of all, the kids really love the fact that they know that's my success area and that's my relationship area. And this is health and this is wisdom. And so the parents are teaching that in these areas, they cannot put any clutter. That's the first rule, right? And then they know like, I cannot put anything there because if I put there, I will have less friends. Okay, let me clear that, right? So it's actually you're teaching the students about that, or the children. We also have seen when people have a house that is doused, and I'm a teacher, how to douse your house. So people actually can learn how to use the dowsing rods, how to cure everything in a very simple class. And then they know this information for the rest of their life. And so once your house is doused, we see that clutter goes 50% down automatically. Yeah, because the vibration changes so much that it's like people are more in alignment. They're more in creating order. And so when we have people that have like children or teenagers that have a lot of clutter, we douse the room, and without saying, they start picking things back up, right? And they are creating order because it's really. Or they would say after 2 days, oh, you know what, I cleared up my room. And like, oh, good. Because you set the vibration so high that automatically their brain will do things to resonate with that. And so they will clean up. And so, for example, I have 2 boys and a girl. And so my oldest is 36 and my second is 28. And so the girls that, the women that are with them, they're like, we have never seen a man that is so uncluttered, is so organized, so uncluttered, right? But, they always lived in a home where, and I didn't really chase them for it. I just made sure the energy was always very high vibration, and they automatically would clear themselves things, And so because it becomes a habit after a while. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So starting that early and making sure that it is a habit rather than something you might go and do once a year or whenever you think about it.
Yeah.
Make it a constant habit. No, I do enjoy that so much. So what else do you have going on? You've got the Secret, you've got How Thoughts Become Things, all of the other many films that you've been in, your programs. Yes. Anything we have not touched on and not covered.
You went really, I love that you went really deep and you did some research. Of course, every year we are doing a vision board program, but the vision boards we're doing is always based on your birthday, connected in with the year Feng Shui. So every year the chi flows differently. There are different colors, different keywords, different affirmations that are important based on your birthday. And so the vision board we are creating is totally different than other people's program because it is a yearly vision board based on your birthday and how your birthday is affected this year with the flow of chi. of that year. So we're always working on that. And then we also have a program specifically for Feng Shui for the year. And so then you are adding things into your home that the flow of that year is the best. So that's always our main program. We call it the Magical 2022, or whatever you're listening to it. It's a magical program that we're doing for creating vision board, setting goals. For me, that's a super important thing. But again, it's all related with your birthday. So it's related with numerology and your birthday and the feng shui of your home.
Oh my gosh, that is so comprehensive. Yeah. Now, if somebody wanted to connect with you and find out about all of your wonderful programs, all of the things that you're teaching, where would they find that?
Well, the best place is mariediamond.com. And also they can go to Instagram, mariediamond8. There's a lot of videos always coming into my Instagram. We do regularly lives. They can go to Clubhouse, to Mary Diamond Energy Club, where there's a weekly energy club happening where people can ask all their questions, where I teach something every week. And we do Instagram lives, Facebook lives. And they can also go to the applications. So there are, at this moment, there's one application, but in a few weeks, I have two applications. So, and they are for free. So they can then find out to be joining the community, to work with finding your energy number. So, and of course, a YouTube channel. We have a beautiful YouTube channel with a lot of information. So we have a lot of availability to receive a lot of information for free. I always say I'm kind of Robin Hood. So I have super wealthy clients and they pay me super well, but I also, make sure that my programs are very affordable, that people that do work, work hard, that they can still have access to the very affordable prices for the online programs. But there's also a lot of information for free for people that at this moment really need some help and cannot afford anything.
Oh, I love that. Before we sign off, do you have any messages globally for the world? Any places maybe where the entire world needs to clear energy or raise vibrations? Anything the world needs to know?
Well, I think, and I was having this conversation this morning actually with one of the Uber drivers, is that, after the years that we just went through from the pandemic, we see a lot of people have lost really some inner balance because, it's been really, really tough for a lot of people. Their mental health has been very affected. And, a lot of people have lost a little bit the level of kindness that they had before. Yeah, the level of compassion. And so if we could come back to be again more kind for each other and be more compassionate for each other. And so many people are now so extreme in their reactions. And I understand that, it's what you go through. But what if we can go a little bit more to the center, to the harmony, to the balance? And we can only do that instead of judging people. Even if we're not agreeing with somebody, we can still be kind to people. We can still be friendly and respect people's who they are and what they feel and how they think about life. So to be compassionate with that, I think that is a big message that we all need to practice every day. Even there are some things happening that you're thinking, okay, that was not so nice. Okay, right, this person perhaps had a bad day. Who are we? We don't know. We don't walk in their shoes. We don't know what's going on in their life. Let's not judge that person. Let's send some gratitude and positive vibration towards that person. I know it's not always easy. And some people say, well, I'm in really difficult times. I have been in these difficult times. My life has not gone over all rose petals, right? I have gone through many difficult times, but I really have learned that ultimately gratitude and kindness and compassion brought me the fastest out of it for yourself and for others.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, I can see why your humanitarian work is so important.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for this time spent to talk with me, Marie. It's been just wonderful. I'm glad that it worked out, and that
thank you so much for doing your work and your overflow to humanity, and good luck for everything. And thank you for the interview.
Radiate Wellness is an international community of holistic and alternative healers dedicated to helping you create spiritual, energetic, and physical well-being. To learn more about our practitioners, services, classes, and events, or to schedule an appointment, visit us at radiatewellnesscommunity.com.